Hello and welcome to Spellbound Dizzy for the Commodore 64. When I was little, I had all the Dizzy games on the Spectrum and I really enjoyed playing them. It wasn't my Spectrum, I actually shared it with some other people. Then I got my own computer, the Commodore 64, and I thought, great, be able to play Dizzy games whenever I want. And they'll be better on the Commodore 64 with better graphics and stuff. I think the problem with a lot of the Commodore 64 games, especially budget games, is that they were ported over from the Spectrum. And what with the Spectrum being a completely different system, a lot of them really were filled with glitches. I mean, I don't know whether you've noticed the slow screen updates on this. Look at that. If he fell that far in the original Commodore 64 version, he'd have injured himself and lost energy. I don't know why they put that into it. And this version has been adapted a little bit, I think. I mean, he went 4 games and he could fall off cliffs and things without hurting himself, and all of a sudden he can't fall 6 inches without busting his nut. Look at that wobbly animation. And there again, if you'd fallen down there, I mean, there's fruit about. I mean, once that's gone, it's gone. I look at this. Half of this game seems to involve just carrying these flipping rocks backwards and forwards. There's a bit called the windy shaft, which is a kind of wind current from really deep underground, and you've got to be holding the rocks so you can make yourself heavy, so you can get down there and get into the caverns down below. And at the beginning, you can literally only hold 1 rock at a time, which really, it takes forever. I mean, you get a bag later on, so you can hold more stuff. I mean, that would have been helpful to have that at the beginning, really. There's bouncy mushrooms again. And then you've got to collect all these stars. I think he's messing around with a spell book and he's managed to get himself and all his friends sent down to this underground landscape. So you've got to ask a wizard to send him all back again. You've got to give him stars. They're magic stars. I can't seem to collect this one. I mean, look at that. Collision detection in this game really is bad. I still can't collect it. And if you can't collect all the stars, then technically you probably can't finish the game. Yeah, go back for another rock. Not more faffing about. The original version of the original C64 version of Spellbound Dizzy was released for the Commodore 64. It was on a compilation called Dizzy's Excellent Adventures. I don't know what it was for an early version or a beta version or something, but it was really small. It only had about 30 screens, despite what it said on the box about there being over 100. All these stars all behind things. And it really was really glitch-ridden. I mean, the really slow screen updates, the dialogue boxes that were transparent, so when you had a long conversation with someone, after a while you couldn't work out what they were saying. It took a really long time to get out the windy shaft. I don't know what was wrong with that. There were bits where you couldn't drop down from places without getting hurt. And also there was a point where you could literally just walk out the entire game. You fell down a load of blank screens and till he disappeared, and you ended up having to quit the game. And basically switch off the computer because it crashed. I don't see why they couldn't have made Commodore 64 versions of these games, to be honest. I mean, they made Commodore 64 versions of things like Bubble Dizzy and Dizzy Panic and whatever. I don't know whether they wanted them all out at the same time. I mean, I would have preferred to have waited a bit longer and got something better. I do have issues with the original Spectrum version of this as well. I mean, there are over 100 screens, and you've got to collect every one of those stars. If you miss one, you've got to search the entire map again. And also, It's just, I mean, the idea of Dizzy in a cave is just not very interesting, to be honest. It just doesn't have a kind of potential to be a lot of interesting environments and stuff. I mean, something like Magic Land Dizzy, I mean, it had something interesting in every screen. There was something to look at, or a puzzle or something. A lot of different and varied environments. I mean, in this, yeah, it has got over 100 screens. Half of them are just bits of cave or bits of passageway or something. It's all kind of underground lakes and pumping stations and stuff, and it just doesn't look that interesting, to be honest. It's all kind of very similar sort of backgrounds. There's Theo there. Got to collect all the stars and give it. You also got to have something that belongs to each of his friends. There's a bit of fence here. Dylan's hole? That's some sort of innuendo. Or whether it's named after Bob Dylan or something. Look at that, I was nowhere near that hammer. Collision detection in this game is terrible. Oh, rocks all smashed to pieces, and then you've got to go and get more. And I mean, look at that light. If you fall in that, you've basically lost probably a lot of energy. And this is it, it's a really big game. I mean, it could take you anything up to 2 or 3 hours. And you've only got 3 lives, and you can't get any more. And there are quite a lot of dangerous bits in this game. There are all these underwater animals that will really sap your energy quite quickly. And you've got to get to there's a mine cart this way. You've got to ride this. And you've got to make precautions first, like making sure the rail is in good condition. If it isn't, you've got to hammer that bit down. We're going to need that again later. Look, they're kind of transparent here, but you can still see what they're saying though. Make sure you're not carrying any rocks when you ride the minecart, otherwise you'll fall in the water. I mean, it takes a while to get up this, even in this version. Look at that flickering. I don't know what that is. Probably do it again in a minute. Yeah, there. Another... No, nothing behind that. I got a bit confused here. If it's in the first game that you can't get past the rain, you can in this game, because you need to get to the bees, and then you have to put a log by the fire, and it pacifies them or interferes with whatever they use to find their way around. I mean, there are some clever puzzles in this game, like you need to get a pepper pot to make a whale sneeze so it blows you up to unreachable platforms. I mean, stuff like that is kind of classic sort of cartoon things. I mean, I think, to be honest, if you want to play Spellbound Dizzy, then there's a version of it on a Dizzy fan site that's been improved. They had all the glitches sorted out. There's also a game called Almost Spellbound Dizzy, which is a fan-made game, which is a lot better. The dialogue is funnier as well.